What is up, everybody, and welcome to another video. We are back, baby. We are making videos again. Very excited. I've been a little busy lately, so I haven't been able to upload on this channel, but I have a lot of stuff to show y'all. So there will be a number of videos releasing in the upcoming days to weeks of me doing various stuff. So get excited for that. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about something that I was sent recently that I think is really, really cool. This is the FlipForge Atlas, a Balisong display system from FlipForge. It came with some really dope stickers, and they sent me this really cool orange version, which I haven't actually put into use yet, partially because I don't even want to open it, because it's so exciting that they made it custom orange for me. Part of me is like, this is too precious, but also I do need to actually set that up, because I love that it's orange. But anyways, this is what the base Atlas looks like. It's these little hooks right here. It's a pretty cool system. This is what I used to be using on my IKEA pegboards, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about what this actually is. So, the FlipForge Atlas is a hook system for IKEA pegboards. Okay, it is specifically made for displaying Balisongs. So this is what one of the Atlas hooks looks like when it comes together. You can see it just has pull tabs that are made of 3D printed plastic. It's relatively straightforward. It is a two-part system. So you've got part one, which holds the actual blade. So there's this little crevasse here that the blade slots into, and then part two has this little stick, and that actually goes inside of the handles. So what's really cool about this is I can actually show you over here if we want. There we go. Look at my board. Okay, so I've shown this before, but I have my Balisong display board up here, and this is where I keep everything, and you can see my Atlas hooks work very well. And what's really cool about these compared to the other hook systems I've used is, so the hooks that I had for this were also 3D printed IKEA hooks, and they were fine, but one of the biggest issues that I had with them is that all of the knives pointed downwards. Like there was just a slant like this to all of the Balisongs. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but it's just not quite, you know, it could look a lot better. And I'm happy to say now it does. So the Atlas system utilizes the two hook setup. So it's got, you know, the two pieces, this guy and that guy that I just showed you. And you do need to space them 4 apart, which is to say, so you put one hook here and then you count 1, 2, 3 away. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 all together, 4 apart. My old hook system I was using, they were 2 apart. So it was 1, 2, so 3, I guess. You got to space it 1 more or else it becomes a little unstable. If they're placed too closely together, I can actually show you this right now. If I move this one here, then it's fine for a moment, but as soon as the Balisong starts to move backwards too much, it has the tendency to potentially slip like that. So you want to make sure that they're spaced apart properly when you're using them, and then it's nice and secure and doesn't have that slipping problem, which is what I experienced when I first got them, and I was like, oh no, why is my stuff slipping? I hate this. Thankfully, not an issue. So, another thing too to note is that the Atlas hook system, I don't have it installed, but it has a method of, there's these little clear rubber bands that I'll show you in a second, which you can use to actually like hook in. So the this end bit piece has a little notch on the bottom, you can see, and that hooks into the rubber band. So what you do is you thread the rubber band into here, into this little top hook part, and then that goes over and down and goes and attaches under here. And so you can put your Balisong in and then put the rubber band over it, and it will actually hold it from the back and make sure that your Balisong like won't go anywhere if you're afraid of them falling. And it's a clear rubber band, so you can't actually see it, you know, when it's in front of your Balisong, so it still looks as nice as it does. The other thing I really like about these hooks, though, is the way that they kind of get out of the way. So they still have this little bit that goes in front of the blade somewhat, but that's the only part that's obscuring the Balisong. The hook, you know, that's actually holding the handles has this really, really clever design where it's basically emulating the blade going into the handle, and that's the way that it's holding the handle there, instead of having to, you know, hook around and cup the entire handle, which is how my old hook system worked. And so it meant that you had something covering the Balisong both on the blade and on the handle, which was just, I don't know, it wasn't my favorite. Whereas this system is really nice. The only complaint I would really make is that the hooks themselves are a little loose fitting, though this might be due to my IKEA pegboard. The hooks themselves have a little bit of play left and right. The other ones that I had, like my normal 3D printed hooks that I bought before, they locked in really securely and didn't have any of this wiggle or play. But thankfully, I haven't found that to like do, you know, it's not a problem once a Balisong's on it. Like if anything, the amount of play goes down once the Balisong is on it. But that's the only downside I've seen. But overall, if you have an IKEA pegboard, this is, in my opinion, the best way to display Balisongs on it. Originally, I had, as I said, just like the regular standard hooks that you buy with it from IKEA, and those are fine, but they're made of metal, and they wiggle more than these do, actually. Like, they're really loose. They're hung in there. Literally, you can see right here, I've got one that's kind of attached a little bit. These metal hooks, literally, like, yeah, you can see that. They literally just will fall right out. They are not attached very well at all. So those 3D printed hooks that I bought were an upgrade where they like really, you know, attached in there, but they didn't display the Balisongs nearly this nicely. And that's kind of what I've enjoyed about the Atlas hooks. The other thing I've noticed about the Atlas hooks is in general, they seem to have a better ability for like wide Balisongs. So something that I had to do previously, because everything was tilted, right? Everything was slightly tilted this way. It meant that Balisongs that have a fat handle width, which like my Penny Tsunami has an extremely fat handle width, that meant that displaying them, I had to put them on the outside. So you'll notice there's an inside hook and an outside hook, right? It goes in, out, in, out, in, out. That's how I have them displayed. If I was to try to display it on the inside hook, the bottom, like this part would touch the top hook and it would actually like kind of lift it up like this because it was being pressed on from above. And so I just couldn't put Balisongs that had this wider handle gap in the outside position. It had to go on the inside position so that there was nowhere, you know, nothing was touching these handles. But because these hooks hold them completely flat instead of like tilting it, not a single one of my Balisongs has had a problem. Like I have, the Penny Tsunami is the big chungus when it comes to like being a nice fat width, and it doesn't touch the hook above it, which is great. Like same thing with the JW Magnet. That one I always had to keep in a outside position like this. Like I had to keep it out here so that those didn't touch anything. And then a Balisong with a more reasonable handle gap could go here. And so I had to like actively make those kind of choices while I was working on all this stuff. And I don't have to do that anymore. Like this system alleviates that issue almost completely. So yeah, very, very happy about this. Thank you, FlipForge, for sending this out to me. I'm so happy that somebody finally took it upon them to like do this for real, because all of the solutions that we've been talking about previously have been just like, you know, BS, not real solutions, just more like a thought process of like, oh, how can I make this work? And then you'd hack it together with items you got from the store or whatever. So yeah, the Atlas Bally Hook from FlipForge, very, very cool, very, very great way to display your Balisongs. Check it out on FlipForge's website. I did give him some feedback as to the instructions here, because I think the instructions could be a little bit better. First of all, it doesn't really tell you, so you can see the little rubber bands right there. They're literally these like crystal clear rubber bands, so they really do blend in when you're actually using them. But unfortunately, the instructions on here just aren't super clear. Like there was nothing about having to space it properly, which is where I made that mistake in the beginning where I spaced it 1, 2, 3 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now knowing that I'm supposed to space it 4, everything works a lot better. So I told him that a little bit of an update to the instructions would be good, both adding stuff like that, adding something about like how the rubber band works, and showing the actual spacing on the IKEA Scatus board. Okay, now here's the other half of what I wanted to show y'all, which is so you can use the IKEA Scatus boards for, you know, displaying your Balisongs, but I have another method that I think y'all will enjoy. So thank you, FlipForge. Now check out my other solution that I've used to add more Balisong storage to my lineup. Look at this. Oh yeah, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? Look at that. So it's these wooden shelves, and you can see I've got Balisongs lined up on them. and it holds them very well. You can, if the shelf shakes, they actually hold on there pretty well. And depending on how you install the shelf, it shouldn't shake, obviously. But yeah, you can stomp around next to them if you live like I do on a higher floor. You can stomp around and don't have to worry about, stuff falling off your walls. But this display system is actually relatively easy to get a hold of and is super cool. I mean, look at it. It does a great job of displaying a bunch of Balisongs, but where do I get these shelves from, I hear you asking? Well, that's the funny part. These shelves are available on places like Amazon, and they are actually for records. So they're not shelves for Balisongs. It is a record shelf. So the way that this guy works is you literally, and it's a floating shelf, which I think is really cool. So it has these two pockets, right? And you've got two screw-in locations. And you can see I messed up installing this shelf the first time. But you line up that screw location, and then you just do that, lock it in. You have to kind of adjust the depth of the screws a few times to really make sure that it works properly. But once you've got that locked in, you're freaking set, dude. Like the shelf is relatively stable, and it can hold the weight of all the Balisongs you could want to put on it. Like it just does an awesome job of holding it, and I think is a really, really pretty way of displaying them. Like I like being able to have the knives open and out in a way where you can just like pick them right up after you want to. So I'll be linking both the IKEA pegboards, so the Scadis pegboards, I'll link those in the description. I'll leave a link to the hooks from Flip Forge in the description, and there will be a link to the Amazon listing that I used for these. But note, you don't necessarily have to go off of the Amazon listing I used. It just happened to be the one that kind of like caught my attention the best, and I think looked the best for what I was going for. So there's a reason that I went with this specific listing. But these record mount things that you can find on Amazon, there's a million different versions of them. Like you really just need to look up record wall shelf and you can find this type of thing. The quality varies between the listings, which is why I'm going to send you this one, because it was, the best quality listing I could find. But this also is very useful if you don't have the space for something like a Scadis. So the Scadis, the pegboard, it takes a lot of space, whereas this guy over here, it's relatively small. It takes up a relatively small area, but I'm storing a ton of Balisongs on it. And this is only 3 of them. I think the pack came with 8 shelves for like, I don't know, maybe 30 to 50 bucks approximately. 8 shelves. So yeah, that's another way that I've been storing Balisongs recently. I kind of like having both the Scadis and this, so I'm not necessarily privy to one or over the other, but I highly suggest either of these solutions. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Relatively straightforward for today. I wanted to make a little video for y'all talking about the stuff I got from Flip Forge and also just ways in general to, set up your Balisongs and display them, because displaying your Balisongs is half the battle. I guess something else I could mention here too is obviously our cases are a great way to display your Balisongs. Like there's a reason that we have them set up the way we do. You can, set this somewhere like on a table or whatever and have a pretty good access. I actually have that literally over here. I don't have it full of Balisongs right now, but usually I keep my most flipped Balisongs in this case just sitting out underneath my pegboard, and that's where I end up grabbing the ones that I'm actually going to be like actively flipping on a regular basis from. So the cases are great, and alongside that, speaking of the cases, we have new stickers. I don't know if I announced this on this channel or not, but yeah, look at this. I've been trying to like fix the sticker issue for a while now. We had stickers, and I was very happy with their sourcing, but like the way that they worked was just kind of a pain. I had to manually package everything myself, and blah, blah, blah. It was a whole deal. Now we finally have sticker sheets that I designed. And these are really cool because it's the same price that it was previously, but now you get more stickers. So this is one box done up with all the stickers, and you can see you get 2 So you get 3 of the fox head stickers, and I made sure to include different like sizes because I knew that that would be useful. So you have 2 small fox head stickers, 1 larger fox head sticker. You have 2 small flipping fox stickers, 1 larger flipping fox sticker. You have the Balisong, just the thing that says Balisong in a Pride font. You also have the Pride t-shirt design as a sticker. You have 1 signature sticker, 2 of the Patreon stickers, the flipping robot fox sticker, the little my head sticker thing, and then finally the Volp skull with the Volp in its mouth. And like just 1 sticker pack is enough to already start a pretty solid sticker bomb on one of our cases. So I'm very happy with this. For the same amount of money that you were paying previously for like 5 stickers, now you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stickers. So it's a way better deal, which I'm very happy about. And the sticker quality is actually really good. Like they're thinner than they were previously. We were using thicker vinyl, but these are still just as good quality. I did a hot car test with this thing, so I left this in my car in 90-degree weather, and it got up to like 140 degrees or whatever in my car. And it did a great job. The stickers totally like survived through that. And even after being on here a while, they should still be peel and retachable. Yeah, so you can peel them and reattach them relatively easily, even though they are like high quality. So that's really nice because you can like, if you mess up, as long as you're on like something like this where it's plastic, you can fix your mess up and move it to a different spot, and the stickers will still hold on even when you leave them in like a hot car and shit. So they don't just peel off. They're not low quality stickers. I did make sure of that. But yeah, lots of different options when it comes to displaying your Balisongs, but there's a few that kind of have worked for me recently. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. I know there's some 3D printed like stands that people have created. One thing that I neglected to mention in here, but I always enjoy, is the little, this little stand, right? I have this on my desk for kind of whatever Balisong I'm currently flipping. When I want to just put it down and not be holding it, I'll use this thing. This is from Glider Co. It's literally just a little Balisong stand. It's just a piece of aluminum with a slot milled into it. Not every Balisong fits into it, but most do. And it's so awesome. This is a great little display for just a single Balisong on a desk. But yeah. There you go. There's some ideas. There's some options. Let me know if you have a, favorite way of displaying Balisongs. And if you don't, maybe consider one of these. I will say either the Flip Forge, like, this solution with the pegboard from IKEA and then these hooks is a potentially very good Christmas present idea, or these shelves I was talking about earlier on Amazon. Those are both like relatively good Christmas present ideas if you're trying to get, your family to get you something for Christmas, or if you have somebody in your life that likes Balisongs that would like to display them. That'd be a pretty good thing to get them. So, anywho, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.